trying to take a bit of a break since it's been, my God, I've been driving. I left my apartment around 4 o'clock this morning, trying to get down here quick. Traffic wasn't actually that bad today. Uh, but let's talk about this, right? That's also an interesting point of why dating, marrying, and all that stuff. I mean, like, there's really no point. So, as a MGTOW monk, I mean, I don't really care about it. I don't date. I don't do anything. I haven't dated. What is it? Since my last relationship was, which I started in 2000 and late 2009, and then it ended around 2012. Mostly because of me, because I don't know. I got bored of it real quick. I guess maybe a couple, the years that I spent wasn't quick, but I guess in terms of a relationship, it was quick. But I mean, like, it doesn't make sense. It really didn't make sense back then, but it definitely doesn't make sense to be in a relationship now, right? Considering, I mean, what is the point of you being in a relationship? The only reason you're in it is for the sex, right? I mean, as a man, anything else, I mean, like, I can get from my friends, I can get from my family. So I mean, I don't really need anything, besides the sex. And I haven't had sex since my last relationship, which has been well over a decade, right? And so I don't really care about it, right? So as being, a MGTOW monk, as being a, voluntarily celibate, not an involuntarily. And if you ask me, I don't think personally, I don't believe there's such a thing as an incel. I do not believe that there's such a thing as a femcel. I just believe that people have twisted expectations of other people, right? Because in reality, the only expectation that you should have is that they're there for you, that moment, right? And that they don't beat you up, they don't curse you out, and they don't do all that kind of stuff, right? Anything else, I mean, really, you shouldn't really have those kind of expectations, anything else, right? Because people are people. Now, I know we always like to talk about, women's hypergamy and all that stuff, right? But I mean, men are the same exact way, right? I mean, I've always looked better, ever since I started dating. I was never one to basically be like, okay, well, I'm going to stick it out with you, right? So basically, for me, it was always like, if I'm with you until I find something better, right? So, I mean, like, if a girl with, bigger tits comes along, like, I'm going to dump you and I'm going to go with her, right? And then, once I get tired of those, big tits, then I'll go and I'll, look for a girl with a bigger ass. And then once I'm done with the ass, I'll go back to the tits and, stuff like that, right? Maybe a different characteristic, right? But I wouldn't blame women for being hypergamous, right? Because I did the exact same stuff. Like, I was always looking for something better and better and better. I was looking for a girl that had, better, sex, wilder sex. Girls that weren't scared, that weren't trying to be fake, right? And I was never shy, at least, obviously, but even that gets boring, right? So it's not, so you can't really say that, whichever path you choose, right? You can't say that things don't just wind up getting really, really boring and you don't get tired of the game and you just want to quit, because you really do. But for me, like, once I got tired of a girl, like, I would just leave. I don't really care, if she was hot or sexy or pretty, or she made a lot of money, she had good friends, she had a good family, like, I don't care. And in reality, I mean, so you have to think about it in terms of, well, you get a really, really nice, beautiful car, and for like the first, month or week, I mean, like, you're excited, right? You're driving it, and you're beating the hell out of this thing, right? So it's 0 to 60 every light. And then after that, you're just done, right? And it's like, okay, let me go and like what's the newer model and all that kind of stuff. As messed up as it seems, right? Because everybody's a human being, right? I mean, that was always sort of my philosophy, like because let's all be honest, right? The only real relationship that men and women have are the first, maybe like the first 6 months, right? Because that's the best time, and that's when the dopamine hits the hardest. But once that dopamine starts to wane off, right, and it's like every time you come home, every time you see this person, you're like, well, why are you still here, right? And it's like, will you please just leave, right? Just go. Uh, and because like I don't want to personally, I don't care. I just don't want to be the bad guy. So like if the girl leaves first, it makes it's my job is easier, because when people say what happened, I'll be like, well, she just left, and then that's the end of the conversation. But when I say I left, then like when I'm talking to my friends, then I look like an asshole. Well, because I am an asshole, but I mean, like, I don't want to look like it, right? Because it's like, well, why did you leave her? Well, she got boring, or Amy over here, well, I mean, look at Amy, right? And look at Amy, right? I mean, she's got double D's, so how could I not, right? Yeah, and it's just like when I go to the supermarket, right? I taste one sandwich is good, but then I taste another sandwich and it's a hell of a lot better, so I'm gonna go with the other sandwiches. Obviously, they're both the same sandwich, but one tastes better than the other. So, I'm here one time. I'm not gonna waste my life. I'm gonna have fun. I'm going to do whatever works for me. But that was when I was younger. Like I don't play that game anymore, because I mean, it doesn't really get you anywhere. Again, it's just a waste of time. So now I mostly just chase money. So, and then the other thing is, like, I've never had to, I don't know, I've never chased women, number one, because so people say chase, and that's the thing, right? So if you're chasing something or someone, right, that's giving the impression that that person doesn't want to be caught, right, because they're running from you, right? So I've I've never chased, right? It's like the girl gives you a hint, and then you go say hi and all that stuff, and then once you find, like after you start talking to her, you gotta find, like I would find a opening in the conversation, and then that would go along. And I mean, like, realistically, like, women just want to play hard, but I mean, like, they're more desperate than the men are out here, and they're lonelier than the men are, because while women can get sex, that's fine. I mean, for women, getting sex is nothing. However, they can't get commitment, they can't get validation, they can't get approval, and they can't get a guy to come there and be there in the morning when they wake up. That's very difficult for women, right? And so, that's all you got to do, is just basically be there for a couple of days or a couple of months, and then once you're tired, you just bounce. And that's what I used to do. Like, I don't care. But nowadays, I'm okay. I don't play any kind of games. I don't do all that kind of stuff. I don't. But a couple of days ago, it was an interesting thing, because like, I was at the store trying to buy stuff, and the cashier, right, this girl, decently looking, right? No, nothing. I wouldn't, nothing to brag about, right? Not that I would ever even, like, I would never mess with her, because there's nothing there, right? I mean, like, there's no. I mean, think about it, right? You're working for minimum wage. Like, there's nothing that her and me have in common. But I come to the register, and she says, I look like this. I look like a movie star that she knows, right? Obviously, that's an opener, right? So and she's telling me about the movie that he was in, right? And I forget what the movie was, but I don't even give a crap. I didn't see the movies because I don't really watch movies. I read books, right? So I read books, and that's my hobby. Anyway, so she was and then she basically pulled out her phone, and then started searching for him, right? And like that would have been like the perfect perfect catch line, right? Would have been like, okay, oh, look at that, that's cool. Do you want to, maybe you want to go and watch this movie since I've never seen it, right? And you can tell me all about the movie. And she would have said yes. But I just I was like, okay. And then I just left. I just paid my freaking left, because I don't want a relationship, right? Because the problem is that it's too much work. And in 2025, I mean, like, I don't want that work. If I was going to, if I was truly, like looking for, sex and all that, I would just go and I would pay for it. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. I would go and get an escort, pay her the $200-300, maybe go with a higher class, escort, pay $500 and call it a freaking day. $500 is a hell of a lot cheaper than me buying her a $500,000 house, right? Just so I can sleep with the same woman, and you're gonna get tired after. At least I am. I'm gonna get tired after a couple of months, and then I'm gonna leave. And she might try to do some stupid crap like get pregnant and then make me pay for child support. I'm not taking that risk. Number one, and that's the other reason that you don't mess around with poor women, because they're more likely to do that to you. Where if you mess around with highly educated women, they're all the same thing, but at least they're highly educated and career women. They don't really want to lose their career, and so they're a lot more careful. They won't get accidentally pregnant, right? Accidentally to you. For her, it's 100% on purpose. But they won't get pregnant because they know that you're probably not going to stick around, and she's going to be a single mother, and she's going to wind up losing her career. So there's some checks and balances in that aspect. But yeah, so I mean, like, it's weird, right? Because like I said, people are people, and everybody is hypergamous, right? Everybody is looking for the best new thing out there, no matter what. As soon as you buy a computer, you're waiting for the best new computer to come out, right? The M3 Ultra comes out, you're waiting for the M5 Ultra to come out so you can buy it. Do you need it? Absolutely not. Do I want it? Absolutely, I do. Can I afford it? Absolutely. So why shouldn't I buy it, right? And it goes the same. It goes the same with with women, right? So if I see a beautiful woman, I'll look. I won't act on it. I don't really care about it. But realistically, 85% of the women out here are complete, like 85% of the women out here are completely invisible to me, because they're just normal women, right? And it's just like, okay, it's just, you're looking at a Honda, and when I see a Honda, my head's not turning, right? No matter how many, how much, like how many body kits or how many, things you put on the Honda, it's still a Honda. I don't give a crap. Underneath is still a Honda, right? You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. And so I don't mess around. So your average girl, I don't really care about it, no matter how much makeup, no matter how tight her clothes are. I don't really give a crap. For me at least, completely invisible. But higher end women, yeah, like I will have conversations with them because they have better conversations. Will I sleep with them? Nope. Because at the end of the day, I mean, they're still, just because she's a higher end woman and she makes money, she has a good career, it doesn't mean that she's not going to try to take as much of my money as possible, right? Because remember the phrase, his money, it's my money is my money, right? And I mean, yeah, I'm not playing that game. Not in 2025. I haven't played it for over a decade. Anyway, I think it's been long enough. My break is kind of over. Oh, God. I'm going to get it back on the road. I got a decent trip out here. Go finish it up. Well, you brothers have a good day. Get out. Enjoy life.